My first mistake was thinking this time would be different. My second mistake was allowing you to convince me that the first one was mine to begin with. That's right, I said it, and I'll repeat it if I have to, but I won't repeat those mistakes. Certainly not in the same order, at least. You see, the people around us have way more influence than they're due in giving us perspective on ourselves. In particular, those that we're the closest to or inclined to trust the most can really lead us straight back into those self-destructive zones. Let's be clear, though. I'm not trying to absolve myself of accountability or responsibility. Let's leave the blame shifting and the projection to the experts. You know who you are. Far from it, friend. The purpose of this statement is to take back ownership of the dynamic. See, doing the same thing and expecting a different result is insanity. Sure. Showing up in the same way and engaging the situation with the same intention, experience, and expectation borders on the same. The trouble is that we're creatures of habit and routine. Most of us thrive on structure, whether we hate it or not. Within those structures, we engage in dynamics and patterns with others. And guess what? They thrive on structure too. And if we let them, either consciously or not, they're going to try to influence us into reinforcing that structure for them and helping them build security in their pattern. Sometimes we as individuals need to break free of the structures of others and evolve to grow on our own as individuals. Mistake number 2 comes in when we go to reestablish that shared structure with others. If we find ourselves falling back into the old patterns, we need to be able to take a step back and assess objectively. Is the repetition something that I'm creating, and therefore an issue of my own to be solved directly from within? You've done the work and gone through the change internally, friend. So why in the world are you and I continuing to get the same results? Maybe it's not us, or at least not us directly through our own thinking and actions. Maybe, just maybe, we're continuing to engage with the wrong people. You know, the type of people who will allow us to not only co-sign their bullshit, but will expect us to make the payments on it as well. Perhaps that's our mistake, or maybe it's just me. See, you and I can go through all the internal change and growth that's available to us through books, seminars, gurus, coaches, etc., and it'll do us little good in the result if we continue to engage with the same types of people we did before. We fall back into old patterns of their actions, somehow think this time will be different. They, in most cases, are all too eager to point back to whatever baggage we might still have with us and tell us we're no different than we were before. These are the peer groups and the relationships that feel familiar to us. They seem comfortable and safe, even though they're leading us directly back to defeat. Again, if you're like me, you didn't get here on a winning streak. It's difficult work that's building trust with people again. I mean, after you've experienced gaslighting or been subject to manipulation and the dynamic of codependency and narcissism. Are we still talking about me here? Well, let's say that we are. And having been on the receiving end of that kind of abuse, I can tell you it's quite natural to build up those areas of our boundaries into walls. And we try to break through them or climb over them. Not all that easy. The more significant of the mistakes, though, is that mistake number 2, is giving other people the authority and influence over us to decide on our behalf whether or not to take responsibility for the first mistake. They'll happily tell us they're wrong, that we're wrong, but they won't tell us that our mistake was choosing to engage with them. You've got my take. What say you?